when you're ready to wedge your piece of clay, remember that you need to be standing up. Push your stool in and stand up because you need to be higher over the top of the clay to use your whole body weight. The correct hand position is the butterfly hand position. You're going to take your hands and wrap them around the piece of clay. Then standing up, you're going to push the clay down into the table. You're going to roll your hands back towards you. Then move your hands forward. Push the clay down, roll the clay back, move your hands forward. Push it down, roll it back, move it forward. And you can spin the clay as you're doing this. What this is doing is popping air bubbles, and it's making the consistency of your clay the same throughout. I don't have a certain number of times to tell you to do this. It has to do with the feel of the clay, because right now I'm drying the clay out. You can see the fabric is darkening because the moisture from the clay is now being absorbed by the fabric. So if you wedge too long, you're going to turn your clay bone or leather hard, and you don't necessarily want it to be leather hard just yet. So I don't know, maybe about 10 times of wedging. When you finish that, to roll a slab of clay, you're going to put your hands in CPR position, one hand on top of the other. You're going to stand over the clay and push the clay down. You're flattening it like a pancake. When you do this, you don't want to flatten the clay so that it's thinner than your finger. So you want it to be about a finger distance to begin with. Then you need to use what we call guide sticks. These are rulers that you're going to put on either side of the clay. This controls how thick you can roll out your piece of clay. So you're going to take your rolling pin. We use a PVC pipe. You're going to do all of this standing up. You're going to put your rolling pin in the middle of the clay, and using enough pressure, you have to stretch the clay. So you're going to start from the middle, roll the clay all the way off, or roll the rolling pin all the way off the clay, and you go back to the middle and roll it all the way towards you. You're going to repeat that process. And then you're going to flip this clay over. So I know that I have to fit my photograph on this slab of clay. So I need to stretch my clay to be 5 by 7. So I might put my clay on top to see if it's getting wide enough. And if it's not going to be wide enough to fit the photo, then I know I have to turn my clay. So now when I roll on the clay, it's going to stretch my clay a little bit wider so that I can fit my photograph. Okay, then I need to continue rolling out this piece of clay until I've reached what's called uniform thickness. When I push as hard as I can and the clay doesn't stretch anymore, then I know I am done rolling out my first slab of clay.